Highlander's starting light attack in his defensive stance does 15 damage. The second light attack does 20 damage. Both attacks are the same speed, with the first having the advantage of superior block on its startup, allowing for a counter attack that does 25 damage. The light attack in the offensive stance are faster than defensive light attacks at 500 ms. They're also superior attacks if blocked, meaning your chain does not stop if you are blocked. His starting side heavy in his defensive stance does 25 damage. The second side heavy of any chain will do 35 damage, and the top heavy will always do 40 damage. All of his heavy attacks are uninterruptible while he's in his defensive stance. In his offensive stance, his heavy attacks become unblockable instead of uninterruptible, and then will do 35 damage from all sides. Highlander's forward dodge heavy attacks will do 25 damage from all sides. Highlander is also uninterruptible during each of these attacks. His zone attack will do 3 attacks in succession, each of which do 25 damage. Zone attack can also be cancelled after the first and second attacks. His running attack will do 2 attacks in succession, both doing 25 damage. It can also be cancelled after the first attack. Caber Toss is one of Highlander's unblockable moves. If it connects, it guarantees an unblockable heavy attack. It also does fairly high stamina damage, which can be used to exhaust your opponent, and it has very good tracking and range, being able to catch an opponent who dodges. Caber Toss can also be cancelled into from an unblockable heavy attack or the Fomorian Kick. This is useful for baiting your opponent to parry or dodge the heavy or kick, then catch them with the toss. The Fomorian Kick is another unblockable move similar to the Caber Toss. It also guarantees an unblockable heavy attack if it connects. Though if your opponent's back is against a wall at a certain distance, you can kick them to wall splat them, switch to defensive stance, and get a top heavy for 40 damage. Just like the Caber Toss, the kick can also be cancelled into the unblockable heavy attack. This is better used if your opponent likes to parry or you think that they will try to. The kick can also be cancelled into the Caber Toss. This is better used if your opponent likes to dodge, as the toss will track and catch them. The most important thing to know about Highlander's Guardbreak is that it's actually bugged right now. After parrying most attacks, his Guardbreak will not reach them unless they are directly next to him. The developers are aware of this and will be fixing it soon. Until then, the way around the bug is that you need to unlock before you Guardbreak. The suction effect seems to work better unlocked and will guarantee the Guardbreak most of the time. Once you connect a Guardbreak, the most damage you can get is 25 from a zone attack. His heavy attacks are far too slow, which allow the opponent to block them. Throwing an opponent into a wall gets you a top heavy for 40 damage. This benefits Highlander with more damage and less stamina consumption. He also has a unique quirk with his Guardbreak. He can change his stance after his Guardbreak connects. This lets him change to his top stance so he can throw somebody into a wall for a top heavy every time. This is more of a quality of life quirk that makes it easier for the player to get more damage consistently. Parrying a heavy attack will get you a light attack from the same side if you are within range. If you're too far away, your opponent will be able to block it. Going into the offensive stance after a parry will guarantee a light as long as the opponent is within range. Parrying a light attack will get you an offensive heavy attack. To do this, keep holding heavy when you parry and you will go into offensive stance once the parry animation is done, then release heavy attack. In addition to an offensive heavy, you can also get a Fomorian Kick or caber toss after a light parry. While they both use more stamina, they can be switched based on the situation. The toss can be used if your opponent is low on stamina and you want to exhaust them, since the toss drains the stamina when it connects. The kick can be used if there is a wall or environmental behind your opponent that you want to kick them into. The maximum light parry punish would be to parry a light attack, kick the opponent into a wall at the proper distance, then hit them with a top heavy for 40 damage. The light parry punishes are much easier against assassins. After a light parry, all you need to do is throw out a heavy attack from whatever side you parried from. This saves stamina and requires less effort to get the punish. The max guaranteed damage after parrying an opponent who is exhausted is 15 from a light attack, then 40 from a top heavy, for a total of 55. Throwing an exhausted opponent will also get you a light and a top heavy for 55 damage. Though your opponent has to be near a wall, and you have to throw them to the left or right to get the full punish. A more accessible option for an exhausted throw punish would be to hit them with the top heavy after the throw, then switch to offensive stance and try to get them with one of your unblockables. If any of your unblockables connect, you get 35 damage from the heavy plus 40 from the top heavy for a total of 75 potential damage.